Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello everyone, this is the hashtag PPG Choose 6 challenge that I'm doing today. It's hosted by the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. The prompts for this week, well, I just followed Lynn's prompts again, or you can go into the Facebook group and choose your own from the Files tab. However, this week is book page, vellum or tissue, thread, twine or string, tree or forest, suitcase or trunk. Now, let's ask you a question. What did the elephant do when he saw a stampede heading towards him? Drum roll, please. He made a trunk call and reversed the charges. Crowd laughter, please. So, what I'm trying to say is, when I saw suitcase or trunk, I love elephants. They're my favourite animal. So the first thing that I thought of was elephants. So you'll see in a minute how I kind of cheated with that little bit of the challenge. But, it's all about thinking outside the box, coming up with something extra creative, finding an excuse to use something that you love. Anyhow, here I'm using my tissue. And this is actually some tissue paper from a paper pattern. So it's the actual tissue pattern, paper pattern, paper pattern, paper pattern, pattern paper, paper pattern, tissue paper. Yes, there you go. I knew if I just kept saying paper pattern, I'd work out what it was eventually. So I really just liked that to just, as a different way, to just knock back and add a little bit of texture on that little piece of cardstock that I had. So these little pieces, they're floral pieces. And, well, no, they're not floral pieces. They're forest pieces. So they're my trees because they've got the trees and the leaves and the birds are sitting in the trees, in the leaves. So that's how I did that. And then I had these two sticker labels. So I decided to make a little journal card that was going to go in a little tuck, which is the first bit that I covered. You'll see it all come together in just a second. And yeah, so see what I mean? They're just stickers. So I popped one on as a little front, and that worked as a little frame for the front of my journal card. And then I popped the other one on the back. It's already got lines on, and then that way it's a nice little journaling spot. And then I'm putting the whole thing onto a book page, which was the piece of book page you saw me at the front, just stenciling up with some tree trunks on that as well. So we've got a few different references to trees. I always love trees and leaves, and I find that they end up in a lot of my work. So isn't that cute? Just as is, as a little journaling spot. It could be a double-sided journaling spot. However, we are in a challenge, folks. So see, I had this really cute little stamp that I really wanted to use that I haven't used yet. So I felt like this was a lovely excuse, and it is so cute with a mama elephant and a bubba elephant. So I've stuck that down onto some tissue, and I'm using the glue stick because truly when you're using tissue, glue sticks do tend to work best. The other thing I find, I don't have as much success with Mod Podge and tissue, but I do find I work fairly well with matte medium. So I use matte medium sometimes, and I like the finish of that too. Oftentimes Mod Podge is quite quick and easy, and it gives you a nice, it seals everything in quite nicely. But matte medium, really fabulous for anything collagey. And let's face it, when we're doing junk journals, we get quite collagey. So all I'm doing now is I'm just sticking my hessian down because it just flopped out when I was getting my tissue paper. And so I decided it was trying to tell me that it wanted to be used in a project. So I just cut it a bit off it down to size and went, okay, I'll do that for you. Come on, who doesn't love hessian? Alrighty, so I popped that on the card, and then I'm using my glue stick and glue, mainly because I feel like if I put the glue stick over the tissue, it then offers a little bit of a barrier for when I'm putting just my regular glue on, my regular craft glue on, and so it doesn't crinkle it up as much. But I'm not too worried if it does crinkle, because as you know, I really like those rustic effects, those happy accidents that you get, the ways that pieces become really individualised. And then I'm just popping that down on my piece, upside down. Yep, oh no, phew, I got it the right way up. That's a first. And look, it's not coloured in, it's just the stamp. All I did was stamped it onto a little piece of coffee coloured paper, an edge that I had, and I'm just using the pencil to mark the holes in the button that I'm using there, so that then I could punch the holes through. Very, very skillful. I just happened to find a beautiful pink pencil that my son had sharpened so much that he had to get a really sharp point on that one, obviously, because he sharpened it right down. It was a long pencil this morning. Anywho, then this is my string that I'm using. I just had, sewn up a journal just recently, and so that worked really nicely. I had that right near me. It was a nice natural colour. It went with the tones. I kind of like how there's the foreign script on this button. It's one that I covered with a piece of book page. I just really love buttons when they're covered with book pages. They really look amazing. And I had a few, and it was really hard to choose. But somehow the script in this one, the little sort of script symbol, somehow just seemed to go with the little elephants, I thought, anyway. So this is just the bit that's going on the tuck. And I had a go at doing a bow. I didn't like the look of that. So in the end, I just did a double knot, because I felt like sometimes you overcomplicate it, you make it look too busy, and this just kept it nice and clean. And I do really love the look of simple knots with string. It's something that I've always quite liked. But if you are doing a bow, a little tip to get your bow straight: tie it upside down, and then you'll find that you'll tend to get your bow straight and it'll sit the right way up. Now, I think the reason for that is when we first learned to tie bows, we learned to tie them on our shoelaces. And think about how shoelaces are supposed to sit. You're actually always learning to tie a bow upside down. So somehow that works. Don't ask me how, but yeah, give it a go. Next time you're trying to get a bow right, try tying it upside down. There are other ways, but that's a good little tip. Now, even though it's a tuck, I felt like it just needed a really slight lip there, a really slight thumb hole. That way it just gives a bit of an indication that that's somewhere that you tuck something when the little journal card isn't actually in there. So I think these go together so nicely. And I did this as an idea that I wanted to have it as a book page that I can then just put into a book, and I'll, show it to you in just a regular book page at the end. But that way, when it's in a journal, it means that I can have it as a flip. I could have it as a larger pocket when I put it in, so that something slips either in the top or in the side if I just glue down 3 sides of it. I quite like every so often, the same way that, you can often do your journal pages individually and then you bind them together at the end so that you can make your cover the right size. It's that kind of theory. I like doing little face pages and pockets and flips that I can put into journal pages. And I've probably made that sound way more complicated than it is. Anyhow, just to make it all go together, I did a little hole and I did another little bit of string in the top. So what have we got so far? We've got the backing is the book page, the vellum or tissue. Well, that is the piece that covers the little, the little tuck spot. So this tuck spot, as you can see, I'm just pasting the bottom half of it so that it just works as a tuck. Then we've got the thread, twine or string. So that is, well, it's also in the hessian, isn't it? But it's on the top of the tag and it's also through the button tree or forest, and the button. So we've got the button on the tuck, then we've got tree or forest. Well, that's in the stenciling that I did on the book page. It's also in the pattern on the actual printed paper there. And then what's the last thing? Oh yeah, suitcase or trunk. So that's my elephants because they've got trunks. Get it? Trunk, suitcase, trunk. Make a trunk call. Yeah. My awesome joke that I told at the beginning with really bad timing. But anyhow, there is my little piece. I think it's really cute. I really like it. It's neutral, but it's still got a lovely pop of colour with that little tree that comes out beside it. So everyone, PPG Choose 6 Challenge. Join us. I know lots of you are playing along at home, but we'd love to see what you're making. So please share it with your hashtag, either in YouTube here or over on our Facebook group, Playing with Paper and Glue. Make sure you check out Kylie's Card Craft. Her project that she did for this is sensational. You will love the pocket flip joiny thing that she's done. And Lynn's is just so gorgeous. I love the freedom that you see in hers. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!